Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our webinar this afternoon, Event Sign-Up Solutions with CDM Plus. We're very glad that you're here with us today, and hopefully you find the next half hour or so informative and get you asking lots of great questions. Today, our presenter is Julianne Manning, our product specialist here at Saran. She's joined by myself, Alex Clay, our support manager, Sherry Snedden. Jennifer Nelson will be watching for questions in the chat. Eli Turner, our sales rep, is in the chat as well to hang out, and Chris Widener, our marketing specialist, will be moderating questions at the end. In addition to our online training events, we are offering our annual users conference. This will be the 26th conference that Saran has hosted. This year, we are going to a new city for us, Charleston, West Virginia. Very easy to drive and get to for many of our clients. This will be September 22nd through 24th, a Tuesday through Thursday. So helps avoid any conflicts with any weekend obligations. The conference this year has a new feature, which we are calling our core training track. And this is something that is designed for folks that would really like to just see a top-down sort of just walk me through everything CDM Plus has to offer, or certainly the most common pieces of the program, including event registration. So this is a great fit, of course, if you have staff who are newer, or if you're looking to bring someone in the next couple of months. This is a fantastic way they can get up and running with the system, talk to other people who are using CDM Plus, and really get the best training that we have to offer. You can check out our website, cdmplus.com/AUC2026, to learn more about the core training or more of our traditional option where you can mix and match and pick and choose what you would like to attend. We have a couple of deadlines for our user conference coming up. Currently, we're under the early bird pricing, and that is good through the end of July. However, if you register by May 31st, which hard to believe is just a week and a half from now, you'll be in the drawing for a $300 Amazon gift card. So I really hope that we see you there and that I can pull your name out on stage and win you that gift card. But either way, we'd love to see you in Charleston this fall. Our next Discover webinar in this series is Accounts Payable Simplified. That will be about 4 weeks from now, Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock. And if you're using any of the accounting in CDM Plus or considering it, we'd love for you to come and join us and learn about the flow of taking bills and payments into the program so you can track who you purchase from, produce 1099s at year end, and have all of that post easily into your general ledger. So if you go to cdmplus.com/discover2026, you can sign up for that webinar as well as our other ones. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Julianne, who will be able to walk us through event signups with CDM Plus.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alex. All right. Well, hello, everybody, and good afternoon. I'm super excited to hang out with you here this afternoon. As Alex mentioned, my name is Julianne Manning, and I'm the product specialist here at Saran. And I'm so excited to be talking to you about event registration because it's one of my favorite features that CDM Plus offers. I have used it for personally for the nonprofit I'm a part of, and just love all the different tools and different features that it has. And today we're going to kind of give you a taste of how you can utilize event registration. But before we do that, we want to just take a look and talk about what is an event. You can use event registration for fundraising events, whether it's a spaghetti dinner or a car wash. You can use it for mission trips. You can use it for camps, vacation Bible school, sports ministries, dinners, potlucks, seasonal gatherings, sign-up lists. That's what makes this feature so unique, is because whether it's a super complex event like a vacation Bible school where you need crews, you need name tags, you need parent information, you need volunteer information, you need all those big pieces for a large event like a vacation Bible school or a camp. But you can also just use this repeatedly for maybe a monthly dinner that you may have, or a seasonal gathering. And you can use all the pieces that you have put into CDM Plus for previous events, you can use those pieces over and over again. And that's part of what we're going to talk about today. So the great thing about CDM Plus is you can use it for both free and paid events. You have the option to add some custom branding. You can add that custom branding, anything from your notification emails that get sent out to the name tags that you'll print out. It integrates automatically with CDM Plus Engage, CDM Plus Membership, and CDM Plus Accounting. There are online options, and there's also the ability for you to register manually as well. You can create those custom questions, and then you can kind of track that feedback through different reports that you can pull. And as I mentioned, that one of the best things is you can reuse those event tools over and over again. And that's kind of, again, those regular events that you might use on a monthly or even weekly basis. Those are the things that we're going to kind of highlight and talk about here today. Now, regardless of the type of event you may have, when you're planning an event, you might feel a little bit like this. So this can be me for sure, right? So there's a lot of different pieces, everything from the vendors to the guests to the food to how are we marketing it? Are we staying on budget? As those registrations are coming in, how do we organize that? How do we, organize our volunteers? So there's lots of different pieces of the puzzle. And if you're using multiple different softwares to kind of put on your event, that just makes it even more complicated. So that's the great thing about CDM Plus. In all-in-one solution, you have that ability to create an event. You can organize your registrants, and they can register online. They can register through Engage. You can help them register manually. Then you can take all that information from the registrants and you can use that for event communication. So whether it's just that confirmation email people receive after they register or the day before the event that you just want to send out to remind your registrants of what's going on, or even after the event, whether it's sending out a letter or a postcard to let them know about upcoming events, you have all that information and you can use those event communication pieces. Then we have lots of reporting options, everything from our master list that just kind of provides that list of registrants for your event, but you also have that ability to create those custom reports to pull out the data and the information that you are looking for to meet your need. And then again, as we've mentioned today, we're going to really focus on how you can repeat events and how you can reuse those pieces and tools that you have already entered into CDM Plus and just reuse and pull them in to create a new event here today. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into CDM Plus. The first thing you will always want to do is start with a record. And in this case, we're going to use an event record by going to Program, Event Registration, Event Records. And for our demonstration today, so we're just, since it's sunny here in Ohio, finally, summer is on our mind. So we're going to talk about what is that seasonal event that you might have every year. So let's say we did a summer kickoff dinner last year and we want to repeat that event again. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a new event. And we're going to name this Summer Kickoff Dinner 26. We can add our location. We're going to include the times for our event here, and then we're going to use this little icon. We're going to first select our time. So this is going to be at 6 p.m. And this is going to be in June. So we're going to put this at June 7th here. Click OK. And then we can add our end time. So again, we're going to make this until we'll go to 9 o'clock. And again, we're going to go to June. So either using the arrows or the drop-down list here and click OK. If need be and you want to add a registration deadline, then you absolutely have that option. This is a really great feature if you need to know a specific head count, those types of things, so that you can add a deadline there as well. If you know this is going to be an event where you're mainly having lots of visitors or people that aren't necessarily part of your organization, you have that option to skip the individual lookup record. But we're going to keep this on today because I'm going to show you some cool things that you can do with this. This just allows you when you're manually entering in registrants for you to easily look up their individual records so you can automate all of their information into the event. As I mentioned, this ties directly into our accounting program. So if this is a paid event, you can always add your payment account where when people make a payment for the event, it's going to automatically be directed towards that account. And any online registration fees, you'll see those go into the fee account here that you select as well. So a couple of different options. And again, ways that this is fully integrated into our CDM Plus accounting feature. And then we have a couple other options here. If there is a registration fee, you could add it here. If you had a venue where you had a maximum amount of people that could attend, you can add that number here. And then, of course, as people register for the event, you're going to see that registration number here below. These two options here are really nice. So anytime that you need to capture a registrant's birthday, you need to have their guardian or parent information, you can always turn on this Camp Youth event box here. That's going to give you those additional fields that they will need to then fill out when they register. And then, of course, if you want to close this registration, you have that option. I have this filter actually set up when I open up my event records to only show events where the registration is not closed. So that just makes me be able to sort through this list very easily. So that's one way that this feature here is used. And so now that we have all the event details here, I'm going to go ahead and click on this activities tab. And this is where it gets really cool. So I told you before, we're going to really focus on how you can just reuse those pieces that you have already entered in the past. And in this case, I know I've added activities for my Summer 25 event. I don't really want to go ahead and add every single one of those activities all over again because I already have that information. So what's really handy is I can click this load button right here. I can find that summer 2020 event or 2025 event. So let's see here. Here is summer kickoff dinner 25. And I can see the activities over in the right that I'm going to add, and I'm going to click on OK. Bam, they're right there. So I can go through this here. If I want to add in another activity, I certainly can. But I can see as I click through here, they're already assigned a category, which is going to come into play when we look at the web ministry tools side of things. But again, I don't have to type this. I don't have to re-add them. It's information I already had in the system, and I can just load those up, and I am good to go. And another thing that's cool too is if there are activities from a different event, I can add multiple events activities on this list as well using that same feature. So kind of cool. And the connections, this is just an area where if you want to kind of connect other records within CDM Plus to this event, you have that option. So here I want to just track who is the event coordinator this year. So if I click this new button here, I'm going to find individual records. Click next, and then I can set up a find or just click all here. And I'm going to say, all right, Anne, you're going to be our event coordinator. So I'm going to select her name. And it's going to say, this new event is Anne's what? And we're just going to use event. And then Anne Robinson is this new event's what? And she is the coordinator. So that's just a really cool way to track those details. This can also be used for things like if you're using a specific vendor. So if you want to know like what vendor you use for those blow up obstacle courses, those types of things, you could add those information here and it just creates that record for you to look back on for your future events as well. So I'm going to click done over here. And after I click done, click save. And now I have my new event ready to go for our summer kickoff. Whoop, I misspelled that. Let's go ahead and change that. So I'm going to click change. Here we go. Good old typo. And then click save here. All right, so just very easily in a couple different steps, I can very easily create that new event record, and that's when I'm going to tie all the information that we are going to track back to that record. So the next thing I want I create my event record is going to be to create my registration confirmation email. And what's nice about doing this now is when we go to Web Ministry Tools and we create our link, we can go ahead and select that that's the notice that we want to use for this year's event. So again, I'm going to close this window here and I'm going to go to reports. I'm going to go to event registration reports. I'm going to go to notices, and then I'm going to go to registration email. All right, so I'm going to choose the event for this year, so we can see that listed here, which that doesn't matter too much at this particular point, but just kind of good to do. And then if I click notice from this left sidebar, so I have this notice already pulled up, but of course, if I did it, I could always click this select add, and then that is going to think it went to my other window. Oh, there it is. So this just brings me up a list of all the notices I have in the my system. So here I have underneath dinners, my summer kickoff registration contributions. That's what I'm going to choose. So again, since I already have this notice already in the system, I don't necessarily need to go ahead and create a brand new one every single time. But it's always good just to take a look at it because likely you're going to need to tweak a few things, such as you want to make sure that the date is correct for this year. If you wanted to update the branding for this year, you would have that option here. And it's always, again, just to review, make sure everything looks great. But when I created this notice originally, I was able to pull in my fields from the event registration links. And so those are going to be automated when my registrants sign up for this event. So I'm going to click save here and then just close because I didn't really make any changes. So again, I'm reusing pieces that I already have. I didn't have to go in and create anything new, but maybe just kind of edit it and make some tweaks. So we're going to close this window and close this window. And the next step I want to do is go ahead and set up my online registration link. So to do this, we do need to connect to Web Ministry Tools. So I'm going to go to Google here. And you can see all of my tools that I have in Web Ministry Tools. And I'm going to find my summer kickoff dinner from last year. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just click that duplicate button here. And we're going to give it our name for this year. So I'm going to just change that to 26 and then click save. We're going to see that tool appear here. And then it's always a good idea just to take a look to see what options we had set up last year. So the thing I like about this is it's going to carry over anything that we deemed as required last year. It's going to go ahead and mark that as required this year. But things that we said, it's not required, I don't have to go through that list all over again. It's already set up because we duplicated that event. And of course, we want to make sure that we are pulling from the correct event. So in this case, I want to pull from that summer kickoff dinner 26. So we're going to select the correct event record from CDM Plus. And then the area that you do need to kind of update is the activities. And that's just because people use the activities section for different reasons, whether it's early bird special, so they only want specific activities shown at specific times. We don't necessarily duplicate those choices because they may be different from last year to the next time you create this event. But in this case, we want to go ahead and for our just to bring section, we want to display that custom header, and we're going to check each of these boxes here. This is always a very important step because the boxes that you check here are the options that are going to be displayed to the registrant. So if you get a call and they say, hey, I really thought that we were going to be able to bring sides to this year event, but it wasn't on the registration form, you may want to go back to this options and just double check that this box is checked because that's usually what's going on there. And then again, for the how did you hear about this event, we're going to display the category header, and we're going to go ahead and click all these options here. Last time we had this event, we changed the name for activity to options, and we're going to continue to keep that option here. This isn't a paid event, so no need to check that option. And we're going to use that same summer kickoff registration confirmation email. So again, it retained that information. And since we've already edited that email, we're good to go there. So we can keep that email checked. It also is going to duplicate who we wanted to receive those registration notifications. So that's already listed here. But of course, if you needed to update this or change an email, you can add that here. And then again, it's going to already keep our settings. So we chose to hide our event summary. We do want that review and confirm page. And then again, once we kind of just reviewed that everything looks good to go, we can click that save option. So once we've kind of confirmed that all the details look good, we want to look at the links for ways that we can publish this registration link. So I'm going to click this publish button underneath my summer kickoff dinner in 26. And from here, we have a couple of different options. So embedding is always a great way to kind of embed the little pop-up for your event on your website itself. I like it. It makes things look really clean and clear. So you can always use either the embedded HTML option or the example HTML link option here. Depending on your website provider, sometimes you don't even need the HTML script. You just need the link itself. So of course, you have this option here. You could also use the link to put this behind maybe like a sign up here on your website or in an email that you might send out. So you always have that direct link available. And then, of course, the ever popular QR code that you can click here, and it's going to download that QR code that you can put on any print marketing material that you may have. So, whether it's a bulletin for a Sunday morning or postcards that you're going to send out, or even like your monthly newsletter, you can use this QR code. People can go ahead and scan and then sign up for their event. Um, and then this feature, I mentioned that we have this integration with Engage, and Engage is how your users will really interact with CDM Plus. This is where they can see the groups that they're involved in, that they can see their church directory, they can manage their reoccurring donations, but they can also sign up for events. So we're going to choose, click this checkbox here and we're going to choose to publish this event to Engage. And then I will show you here in a little bit how users can log into Engage and register. So we have all those options. Once you're ready to publish this link, whether on your website or again through any of your marketing channels, users then can go ahead and go to that link. And registration is going to be really quick. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to sign up, and it's going to be Michael. We're going to say Michael Keller. We're going to put in an email address. Email is always a good thing, and it's always yeah, it's always that fine line between you want to make registration really easy for users to sign up, but you also want to take those opportunities to really capture any information that they're willing to provide. But email is always definitely a good piece to always encourage people to capture that. But we have the address information here, so it's not required per se, but if people wanted to fill it out, then that's that option. If they wanted to add multiple attendees, then they have that option. They would just click on this add another attendee. But we're going to go ahead and go to the next step. And we're going to say, okay, Michael's going to bring a side and, oh, and then right away. So I was like, okay, we want to know what type of side that he's going to bring. So this is always it's always great to preview your link before you send it out. But in order to make that change, if I go to my event and I click back on options here, and scroll to my activities. So we have these options to the right where we can allow people to kind of add those notes. So we don't necessarily want to make them mandatory, but we'll make them optional. And we'll go ahead and add that for the how did you hear about this event as well. So we're going to make notes optional. That way, if they want to list the friend or family member that they heard this from, they can, but just a good resource. So yeah, so just a great example of why it's always important to kind of preview that link before you send it out through the masses. So we'll go back to that published link here, and And we'll go ahead and finish registering Michael. So we got Michael Keller, we got my email, and we're going to go to next step. So now again, we're going to bring a side and we're going to bring cheesy potatoes. What is a potluck without cheesy potatoes, right? If I can spell it. All right. And then I heard about it from a church announcement, and we're going to click next step. And this is just that review and confirm. And then we're going to click finish registering. And then from here, I can see the finalized details of my registration. And if I wanted to, I could print this out. If I wanted to create another registration, then I have that option here as well. And then, of course, every time somebody registers, a couple of things are going to happen. One, anybody who was listed as staff who receives those notifications, they're going to get a staff email, excuse me, a staff notification email, and it just lets you know, hey, we have somebody who registered for your event. This is who the attendee is. This is who or what they're bringing, the activities that they signed up for. And so that way you have that notification that is sent to you directly. And again, you can see most of this information on the different reports you pull, but this just kind of sends you that notification say, hey, things are live and going good and people are signing up. So it's always good to see those details as they happen. And of course, the registrant, they're going to receive that notification email that you set up um, to be sent out through the notices system. So here you can see their name. You can see this is where they're going to see what they signed up to bring, and then all the different details that they have on that notice. So pretty cool process. Now I mentioned it's really great that we have that option to um, sign up through Engage. So I'm going to go to my CDM Plus. I'm going to go to Program. I'm going to go to CDM Plus Engage. And then I'm going to go Open CDM Plus Engage. And I'm going to log in as a user. So again, as a user, I can see different groups that I might be a part of. I can manage my online giving and engage. But if I click this events menu, this is where I can see any events that I've already registered for, but I can also register for new events as well. So I'm going to click this new event registration feature. I can see, looks like we reopened this dinner 25, but this is the one that I want to register for. So I'm going to click this register option here. And since it already knows who I am, since I'm in Engage, it's going to auto-populate my information and then click next step. And then it's going to bring me to the activities. We're going to bring a dessert and we're going to do an Oreo cake. And I heard about this from a church bulletin. And we're going to click next step. And just see all the details and make sure everything looks good and finish registering. So again, in just a couple of clicks, I'm registering for this event. And then if I go back to my Engage, and if I go back to my registrations, I'm going to see, hey, I signed up for that summer kickoff dinner 2026. So a great way to see the events that a person has signed up for. And then if there's an event like a mission trip or even a camp and where you have like partial payments or things like that, a user can go back or go to this menu and see their balance and make payment on any events that they may have as well. So another really cool feature here. But I'm going to go ahead and sign out. So that again is how to create that event record using the tools and pieces that you already have in the system, how to create that registration notification email, again, using data and format that you already had in the system, setting up that web ministries link to allow people to register online and through Engage just by clicking a button to duplicate since all those details have already been thought through and used previously. You can just duplicate that event to make it really easy. But now we're going to show you and talk a little bit about how a user can enter in registrants manually through CDM Plus. So I'm going to close this window here. And if I go to, you can do this a couple of different ways. So if I go to program event registration, event records. If I click on my event, I can click on registrations right here, and this is a jump button that's going to link me directly to the list of people who have registered for my event. But if I go to program, event registration, registration entry, it's going to take me to that same spot. And a couple of different things. So, one reason that's helpful to kind of close your events as you go forward is only the open events are going to be viewed from this left side here. So, it is very helpful to kind of close those events as things kind of go along. But here, I'm going to click on the event that we're using today. So I can see both my user that registered through that online link is going to be here. Both that user that registered through Engage is going to be listed here. But then now I can go in, maybe it's Sunday morning, I'm at the welcome desk. They just announced this event at church. So I have a line of people that want to sign up while they're here today. I can go ahead and add those entries. So because I have a couple of different people, I'm going to click this multi-add option. And because I have that select individual on, instantly it's going to ask me what individual record you want to tie to this registration. And so I can set up a find if I want to. I can click on all. I'm going to click find here. And we're going to register John. So we're going to select him. Since we know who he is, his information is auto-populated here. The only piece of information we need to know from him is under activities. So he's going to bring a salad, and we're going to say he's going to bring a fruit salad. And then since you just came out of the church service, I'm just going to confirm, did you read it in the bulletin or did you register because of the church announcement? So we're going to do church announcement, and we're going to click save. We're going to save all those details, and then I've got that select individual pop up right here. So again, since I have that line here, we're going to go ahead and look at the Disney family. I can select on Susan. Her information is going to auto-populate. I'm going to click on activities. She's going to bring a salad. It's going to be just a veggie lettuce salad. And she also read this in the church bulletin, so we'll give that option there. And then, of course, I can click finish, save and finish. And let's say I had a person who is brand new. This is they're a visitor, so they're not in the system. Can I register them? Absolutely. I'm just going to click this cancel button right here, and then I'm just going to enter in their name. So this is going to be Janice Jones. If you want to capture their address, you can. I would probably encourage you to capture their email address. That way, when you send out maybe a notification the day before as a reminder, she's going to get that information. And then again, I'm going to click on that activities list, and she's going to bring a side. She's just going to bring some chips. And again, she saw this by a friend or family because a friend or family invited her today. And maybe the Austin family invited her. So we'll click save. Um, and then of course, just click finish when you're done. So again, very easy to register people just the day of over the phone or while they're at church. But we're giving those multiple avenues for people to register, which just makes signing up very simple. But now we have all of our ways that people can sign up. We're getting closer to the event. So we need some resources that's going to help make this successful. And I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of name tags because whether you're a big church or a small church, you always want to help people not want to help people out if they don't necessarily know everybody's names, right? So we're going to go up to reports. And we're going to go to event registration reports. We're going to go to labels, and we're going to click registration name badges. And we're going to choose our 26th event. And we're going to click on report. And since we had this event last year and we went ahead and created name tags last year as well, I have this already set up. So All I need to do is click this refresh button here. And just like that, everybody who just registered, they get a name badge. So because I have this set up, I can just click that refresh button, make sure everything looks correctly. Of course, if I wanted to change and edit anything from that name badge, I could underneath that report section here. But if everything looks good, I can just click that refresh button and then print these name badges, and then I am good to go. And then, of course, where it's the day of, I just need a list of people who are coming, or I just need to know how many people are bringing sides, what exactly is the food situation for this event. So I have a couple of different report options that I can pull. So first, underneath reports, and then we can go to event registration reports and listing and exports. This master list is just a great report. It's as its name sounds. We're going to click on our event that we want. We're going to focus on everybody. So regardless of what date they registered, we're going to pull a list from everybody. I want to see this in the order of the registrant's name, but if we wanted to see like when by their zip code or the date they've registered, we have those options as well. If this was an event where we needed to know like the age and grade, or group by gender, all those different options, we have different reports options that will pull in that information that we need. But in our case, we just need a list of names just to make sure as people are coming in that we can cross them off and give them a name badge if we want. So I can click this refresh button. And then in 1, 2, 3, I have a list of people and their names. So also, like since we pulled Susan from the individual record, it auto-populated her phone number. So that can be very helpful if you're noticing like, hey, she's not coming, and you just want to figure out like, hey, is everything okay? You have her information readily available. So if you need to give her a call, you have that option. So definitely master list, a great resource to have. Um, the master list details. So if you go to reports, event registration reports, master list, excuse me, and exports, and then master list detail. This is a great list that's not only going to give you a list of their names, but it's also going to show you the details about the activities that they signed up for. So here, if I click the summer kickoff dinner, again, I've got several different reporting options that I can add, but here I have the show activities notes selected. So I'm going to pull in those details for this report. Click that refresh button here. And again, so I'm going to get a list of the name of the person who's coming, but then see the details about their activity as well. And then this report's really handy because if I did have, if it was a paid event, you could see the balance due for that person. So as they're coming in, you can say, oh, it looks like you've got, $50 that you need to pay. Would you like to pay that now? And so forth there. But as with many features in CDM Plus, we have that ability to create custom reports. So we had two custom questions that we asked it through the activities tab. What side dish are you bringing? Or what dish are you bringing? Excuse me. It could be a side, it could be a dessert or a salad. And then how did you hear about this event? So to kind of drill down and to kind of really analyze that data from those events, if you go to reports, event registration reports, listing and exports, and I'm going to go to activity custom listing and exports. So here I'm going to, of course, select our summer kickoff dinner 26. And I just want to kind of think through like, what is the food situation? Are there any gaps that I need to fill in and so forth? So I'm just going to take a look at the dishes that we want to bring. So that's going to be just the activity that I'm going to kind of focus in on. If I click on columns, I have just a really simple setup report, just the activity description and the notes so I can see exactly what kind of side dish they're bringing and so forth. And I've got this, if I click on configure source and totals, I've got this sorted by the activity description, so we're good to go there. And if I click this refresh button here, so really easily I can see, okay, here are my desserts together. I've got an Oreo cake, here are my salads, and here are my sides. So they're all kind of grouped together. So again, at a glance, I can kind of see exactly what is going on, who's bringing what, if there's any holes that I need to fill in for the dishes for our event. And then if I go back under search, maybe we're trying to figure out where is the best place to kind of focus our marketing strategy and energies and money for. So we're kind of track like how are people hearing about our different events that we put on through the church? Is it from the website? Is it through a postcard? So here, I'm going to check this box here. It's same report. So we've got activities, descriptions, and notes. Same sort. We're going to sort by that activity description and click save. And then again, in a couple of clicks, I can really see, okay, it looks like the majority of people are hearing this when they come to church or throughout the week through an announcement or the bulletin, but we've got a few that are coming because of a friend or family invited them. So maybe we don't necessarily need to do postcards for this type of event and so forth. But of course, as more people register, you would of course see that different data. Um, and again, so really and then maybe the event is already come, it's gone, it was successful, everyone had enough food to eat. Um, and now we want to really like take this opportunity to follow up on all the people that came. So if we click reports, event registration reports, and go to notices, we have the option to maybe send out a letter, maybe send out a card, maybe send out an email again. So we're going to go ahead and go to registration emails. And if I click notices and click that select add, so you could always create another notice. It's like, thank you for coming. Of course, like the day before, if you wanted to send out like a reminder, again, information that you already have stored in your system. And you can reuse this information over and over again. But since it knows who all the registrants were and we capture that email address, it's going to be really easy to kind of send out that follow-up email. But of course, if you wanted to send out a letter, we have label options, that postcard, we have different formatting options. So all those bits and pieces to really help make your event a success, whether really large or really simple. You can do it all with CDM Plus registration. But I hope you can really see how you can use this tool over and over again. It really does help you set up an event very quickly. And since you've already done that hard work before, you're able to use those pieces over and over again. And then on top of that, if you're using programs like membership, like accounting, like Engage, everything is all together in that single solution. But hopefully that was just a little glimpse of what event registration can do for you. At this time, we will open it up and you can ask some questions.
See a question from Maria asking, can you require a phone number format or can CDM Plus standardize them after entry?
So while people are entering it in on the registration form, that's a good question. If you go to CDM Plus on a Mac, and then Jen, you might be able to confirm if this is underneath file for Windows users. But if you go to preferences, and then if you go to CDM Plus system, and then when you go to, I believe it's formatting, this is where you can choose what you want that format to be. So when it's entered into the record in CDM Plus, it's going to automatically be in this format that you select for that phone number. Great question. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming here today. I hope you learned something new or just a new way that you can use our event registration tool. We hope you will consider coming to our next Discover webinar over accounts payable in June. And I'd love to see you at our annual users conference in September. So definitely check out that upcoming deadline, May 31st, to get your name entered into that Amazon drawing. But thank you so much for your time today. Have a great rest of your day.